Hello everybody, it's Starrapter here. Welcome back for another episode of This Week in Star Wars Canon. Every week I break down all the latest into Star Wars continuity. This can be anything such as the TV series, the novels, the comics, and to the video games. And this week we got two new comics. So first off, I want to talk about Star Wars number 31. This is part 2 of the Screaming Citadel crossover between Dr. Aphra and Star Wars. I also picked up the 40th anniversary variant edition cover of this particular issue. These aren't the droids you're looking for. Sorry for my terrible impersonation of the one and only Sir Guinness playing Ben Kenobi. Yeah, it was bad. Anyway, getting into this, so we picked up from the one-shot of last week. It was pretty cool going right into the storyline the following week. So I used to wait month after month for the following issue. But anyway, getting into it, so Dr. Aphra and Luke Skywalker have formed an unlikely alliance, and they are going to the Screaming Citadel to hopefully get this crystal that Dr. Aphra has and open it up to reveal the secrets of this ancient Jedi. And they go to this queen because once a year she offers up her entire castle to basically accept gifts from different beings across the galaxy in return for favors. And they hope that she can hopefully, in return for offering Luke up as a Jedi, able to unlock the secrets of this crystal. So they actually do go there, and she's interested, so she tells them to come back the following day, and she wants to verify that Luke is actually a Jedi in control of his powers. And unfortunately, he's sitting there trying to impress the Queen once again by using the Force to lift up the tops off of these dessert trays. And it just so happens that underneath this dessert tray, Dr. Aphra finds out are these creatures called Aberson symbiotes. And the Queen was, I guess, hoping to mind control Luke because that's what their use is. And that is what happens with that storyline. In the meantime, you have Sana, Han, and Leia that are preparing to go rescue Luke because they put two and two together with the help of Sana to realize that he is most likely there. So moving on to some particular things I enjoyed about this issue, I want to congratulate Jason Aaron because he does a terrific job of giving the voice of Aphra. Usually it's Kieran Gillen that's writing Aphra for, his own series, but Jason Aaron takes over for this particular issue. It does a great job doing it. I also did like seeing Amira Luca for the first time in Star Wars canon. So usually they're in the Legends, and I think this is the first time we visually see them. So she is the character in this particular issue that is basically putting a knife against Luke's throat to make him use the Force. They're also seeing in KOTOR 2 was, I think, the first reveal of these certain sentient species, and they are blind, but they are supposedly strong in the Force. So the one character, Visus, was something you guys might pick up from with seeing Amira Luca. Another thing I really enjoyed was just the whole fact that Luke is struggling with the Force throughout this issue, just to pick up a platter off the tray. We've seen this kind of in Inherit of the Jedi, that novel, and it makes sense because they are not messing with the continuity here. I mean, obviously he never had a master in between A New Hope and Empire, so he can't be all that powerful. We see him in Empire just kind of testing out the abilities with him, using the Force to call the lightsaber out of the Wampa cave, stuff like that. So really cool, seeing that the story group is working very well, not, making things too crazy so far. And Dr. Aphra, with that whole prior storyline with the Aberson symbiotes, that coming back full circle, really cool to see that happen. And it's really cool to see the Aberson symbiotes, their actual effect on beings. And particularly, there's this really cool moment where Dr. Aphra and Luke are running away from this menagerie that the Queen has on this particular citadel. You had even a possessed Gungan that looked like a zombie. You had a two-headed Ithorian. That was just fantastic. And finally, I just want to talk about the art team on this. I think LaRocca is doing a great job. He always has done a great job when it comes to providing like that almost photo-realistic kind of imaging of the characters' faces, from Luke to Dr. Aphra to Han to Leia. He does a great job. And also, I want to shout out Delgado, who does a great job coloring and creating the kind of creepy tone of this gothic horror sort of vibe. The next comic I want to talk about that came out this week is Poe Dameron number 15. So this is a story that is starting a new arc with Poe Dameron and Black Squadron, and their mission is to go get fuel. And I'm so done and tired with these stories in Star Wars, guys. We got so many of these type of stories in Rebels, and I am unfortunately having to read this and being like, oh, this is going to be another filler type of issue. And well, that kind of is what it seems so far. So basically what's happening in the world of Poe Dameron. So the Resistance, they have been getting fuel from different black market sources, and they are actually specifically given these contacts by Leia's husband, Han Solo. So that's cool seeing him getting a nod in this comic. And well, they've been getting picked off one by one, these contacts. And so now Leia has gotten word that they have the one contact left. So Black Squadron is going to go and get this fuel because they are in dire need of it. But when they get there, no one is on this freighter anymore. And what happened was, before they had gotten there, the First Order got there, and they basically took all the people, killed all the crew on there, and just took the fuel and basically made the freighter a living bomb. So this issue, in a nutshell, is basically speed. So they can't decelerate. Poe Dameron, once he gets on the ship and he starts the engines, it starts the bomb, and they can't decelerate unless, or else it'll just destroy everything around it. And unfortunately, they did find out that the fuel was extracted from the First Order, so now there's really no point of even flying this thing around. And it's just one of those stories that was just a little bit frustrating because I see where it's going on the horizon, and basically what's going to happen is Poe Dameron wants to go to the First Order and get the fuel back. Like, that is such a stupid idea. It's just the four of them, and they basically have like no fuel anyway. Like, what the heck are they going to do? They can't get into an open conflict with the First Order yet because, well, that's what happens in The Force Awakens. So yeah, just getting into more specifics here, I want to talk about last issue. I didn't pick it up. The little detail at the end was that Tarek's got this mind implant from Captain Phasma that makes him completely servile. And well, we see the first-hand effects of this in this issue. He's one of the people that was on that freighter to basically kill everybody. And now he is basically reduced to like a droid. And that is really disappointing because this character was what made Poe Dameron so great as a comic book. They haven't really done a great job with the actual exploration of Poe as a character, but they introduced this guy that was part of the First Order Security Bureau that actually had this really deep backstory and everything, and now he's just going to be talking like this, like a robot all the time, accepting orders. You know, like, that is just, man, it's really frustrating. Another thing that was kind of cool, though, because of this, is it shows that the First Order, they don't mess around, and they're really inherently evil to really do that to a person as punishment, just basically take away their free will. Really cool alien character in this was Captain Perilli, who was the owner of that freighter, and that got taken over by the First Order. Four-armed kind of alien. Looked reminiscent of an alien from the Phantom Menace, one of those pod racers. It could be the same alien species. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. Another thing that was great about this issue, though, was how it actually makes the crew of the Black Squadron portrayed as more of a tight-knit kind of group that is more of a family at this point. After they lost one of their squad mates in battle, now they really seem to be focused, and they're so loyal to Poe Dameron. Like, wherever he goes, they will risk their life for that guy. He is super charismatic, so I mean, how could you not? And one thing it finally showcased was the flying skills of Poe Dameron. So he takes control of this freighter, and he is flying it through an asteroid field. So badass, and you know, all hats off to Poe Dameron. He is the best friggin' pilot in the galaxy. That actually might be true. So that is going to do it for this week in Star Wars Canon, but I want to know what you guys thought of Star Wars number 31. How are you enjoying the Screaming Citadel arc so far? So far, I think it's probably even better than the Vader Down crossover series so far from last year. And what did you think of Poe Dameron number 15? Let's talk about it in that comment section below. Guys, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to this YouTube channel so you don't miss another video. I do tons of Star Wars content on this channel, so make sure you subscribe. I'm Starrapter. Thank you for watching, and may the Force be with you always. So, did you like the video? Then make sure you rate it a thumbs up, and if you did that, go over there, hit that Starrapter head so you subscribe to my channel. Doing so will keep you up to speed on all of my latest content. Speaking of which, you can see a couple of my recent uploads down below. I'm also on social media, so what are you waiting for? Let's start nerding out.